We'll quickly shift our focus to the Free State now, in particular the African National Congress that is set to announce the outcomes of the special PEC meeting that sat on Wednesday. Let's listen in.
The African National Congress has been discussing the perils of organizational decay as a result of, amongst others, leadership failures, the sense of incumbency, corruption and lack of consequence management for a considerable period of time. And the political price of these perils had resulted in the disarticulation of the national democratic revolution and the liquidation of the democratic dividends with a disproportionate impact on the poor and the marginalized. The provincial leadership of the ANC in the province had in recent past extensively examined the task of strengthening accountability, clean governance, and acceleration of service delivery within the province, and as such came to a conclusion that for these objectives to be realized, three conditions must be met. The first one being a resilient, courageous, and principled leadership. The second one, a committed, conscious leadership, as well as active civil society that is consciously mobilized. And ultimately, this analogy is therefore presented within the context of the renewal of our movement in pursuing its objectives, and it should be understood as part of the broader amalgamation of factors that informs the turnaround, especially of the state of local government in our province. We therefore argue that the movement should invest time and intellectual resources in conducting this intense and critical self-reflection regarding the devastating electoral defeat we suffered during the 2024 provincial and national elections. And these electoral misfortunes must be understood that they are also not as a result of the exponential growth of the opposition parties, but more of an indication of the state of our movement and its alliance partners, as well as its track record in government. It is common cause that if we don't address service delivery failures in municipalities that we govern, which are dominated by under-expenditure, irregular expenditure, poor maintenance of crucial infrastructure, the appointment of either unqualified or underqualified personnel, collapse of troikas, and the blurring of executive vis-a-vis administrative interface, which all serves to undermine the performance of the ANC-led municipalities, we will experience even more calamitous situations than we experienced previously. Informed by this context articulated above, the PEC met on the 11th of August in its ordinary meeting to consider the work that has been done flowing from previous meetings, and key amongst its deliberations were to update ourselves on the pilgrimage which was undertaken across the province to assess mainly the state of the organization and governance. And during the course of its work, the PEC officials also met with its alliance partners in the form of SAMU and SANCO to address some of the challenges that exist between and amongst these partners. The PEC also had an extensive discussion about the state of governance, both at provincial and local government level, informed by the said road shows undertaken in the last 2 months, which its observations were complemented by the expose during the Joint Portfolio Committee on Local Government visit in our province. A decisive call was made to urgently intervene and address the deepening challenges that were laid bare in public during this visit. With time like a frog in a boiling water, we realized late that the ground is shifting, and as such, a decisive, audacious, and courageous leadership needs to be invoked. For if we procrastinate, the consequences thereof will be dire for the movement. Learning from the word of Samuel Jackson, I quote, that the chains of habit are too weak to be felt up until they are strong to be broken. And this meeting of the PEC, on the basis of this injunction, took decisive decisions to harness the situation. And therefore, there are key decisions that were taken in terms of the work that has been undertaken, both by the officials of the PEC, the PwC, as well as the entirety of the provincial leadership of the ANC in the province. One, a decision to establish and reconfigure organizational constitutional structures was taken in the form of branches. This is because there's no organization without the foundation, and in this instance, the branches of the ANC. And in the last 3 weeks, the PEC leadership crisscrossed the province to re-establish branches where they were non-existent and reconfigure those whose mandate has lapsed to ensure that there are legitimate structures to execute political work of the ANC in the province and intensify our connection with the masses on the ground. The second issue related to the preparations that are underway in as far as the Nala by-election is concerned. The PEC considered the report on the preparation of the by-elections in Nala and acknowledged the work that is being done, guided by the REC of Putswa together with our provincial elections team. And as such, a positive feedback has been received in terms of the prospects of victory by the ANC in that part of the province. The third decision was with regard to the roadmap of both Mangaung and Putswa regional conferences. The PEC received a report on the roadmap towards the regional conferences of both Mangaung and Putswa regions, which is scheduled later this year. And all necessary administrative processes are in motion, and the PEC deployees have been directed to give proper support and guidance for the successful convening of such conferences. Another issue that we considered was a report on the step aside of one councillor from Malutapofung who's facing some legal challenges by the name of Comrade Mary Crockett. And we also appreciate the initiative of voluntary stepping aside by this comrade in line with the step-aside rule of the ANC up until her issues are dealt with. We also consider the report from the NEC, which acknowledged the progress that is in motion, amongst others, in terms of the preparation of the National General Council, which will be held at the end of this year, which expect provinces to participate, a political school of some sort that will also assess the midterm work of the National Executive Committee. Like I've indicated, we had some engagements with both our alliance partners in the form of SANCO and an affiliate of COSATU in the form of SAMU. The PEC received the report in as far as the interaction of both these formations, and they were represented by their office bearers. to discuss the issues of relationship and how we can weave our relationship with these partners in the province. Furthermore, we also discussed the issues that concerns governance in general. Out of the said discussions, the efficiency of Secretariat Alliance was discussed, and out of that, as I've indicated, an emphasis was that the Secretariat and the Alliance Secretariat would have to be empowered to ensure that it processes issues for the benefit of the entirety of the Alliance partners, where ultimately the Alliance Summit would have to be convened mid-September. And the ANC in the province directs its subsidiary structures in the form of the regional executive committees to work hand in hand with other alliance partners at regional level. When it comes to local government issues, key issues that relates to our own visit to caucuses, municipalities, and to structures of the ANC on the ground. And like I've indicated, complemented by the report of the Legislature and Governance Subcommittee in the province. A report was adopted.
All right, live visuals there from the Free State, where the ANC is briefing on the outcomes of its PEC meeting. Provincial Secretary there, Aphumelele Mdlalane, indicating that, among others, they reflected on the state of governance in the Free State, with the triple challenges having become quite apparent even when numerous government officials had visited the province. Our reporter still monitoring that briefing.